it's better to speak like this. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on Green Tech 2023. It's already quite full and super full. That's nice to see, of course, after the years of the disease we're not going to mention anymore. We can shake hands, we can do everything we want. We are back in the farming business. We can meet each other, deal with each other, have fun with each other, and do the things we like to do most, being making the planet a little bit more greener. Before I introduce myself, you see on the screen behind me, and for me in front of me, if you want, you can just screen the QR code and then fill in the code. And we're going to ask you some questions, which I'm also going to ask to the panelists, where you can react on if you want, of course. But it would be fun, it would be nice on this special day, the first day of the Green Tech, and also, yeah, I have to say it, my birthday today for the 4th time on the Green Tech. Thank you. Yeah. Very nice. Everybody was asking me, are you giving a round? I said, no, that's a little bit expensive. But anyway, if everybody has this, fine. And later on we will do some Q&As just by microphone. But I will introduce myself, John Meijer. I'm a strategic advisor to SMARTKAS. Been all my life in the horticulture industry since my 16th. I'm 54 today, so 38 years. Started in the plastic greenhouse industry with Rovero greenhouses. And ended last year as a co-owner of Bomb Group, which we formed with Atrium Agri. And I retired, and I was playing golf. And I got a very nice call from the guys and girls from SMARTKAS. Can you be the advisor? Because we are a cooperating company, we are a smart agtech company, but we don't know all. We know everything about the business case, we know everything about financing business cases. We want to make a profitable company. We don't want to be a company who's investing a lot of money and not making money, but we don't know where to buy stuff, we don't know what to do, and we are very growing. So, for me, it's very nice to be part of that part-time. That's my role, strategic advisor to the board. They don't have to follow my advice, but they will do a lot. And we cooperate. It's the year of SMARTKAS, the year that we are cooperating and showing to the world that we are opening up. We are not a vertical farming company, we are an agtech company. Next slide, Kitty, thank you very much. Waiting for your answer. That's what I do. Almost nothing, couple of days a week. What is your profession? I'd like to know what you are doing. And it's coming up, I think. Investor. Oh, that's nice. The board is on the right side, by the way. So, investor, PR, intern. Coating producer. Lumiforte, by the way, or not? I want to see a hand, Ah, there you are. There you are. Researcher, project manager, marketeer, fantastic. So it's a very, very, very broad audience, which is fantastic. Super nice. Actually, I got 18 answers. We are with a lot of more people, but look at how many people there are. Warehouse Optimal, Managing Director, Investor Relations. Super. I think there we are. Now, we know exactly what we are, but also where are you from? Because building a greenhouse, building a vertical farm, building a plastic greenhouse, it's everywhere different, eh? So where are you all from? We'd really like to know. That's central. And somebody, that's already various parts of the world. 8 from the Netherlands or Europe, maybe, probably. Oh, South America, California. Robert, are you printing in Mexico already? Or did you do? No. Pay attention, when I speak, I can make that one now, Okay, all right. Oh, where is this? Who's this? Who's on a boat? Very nice. Okay, so we see a lot of Central, we see California. All right, we leave it like that. Go to the next one. What is SMARTKAS? We'll show you in the Smart movie what we are doing in Amsterdam. Fokker Park, very close to Schiphol Airport. There we have a vertical farm where we grow 18 different kinds of lettuce. Already since year, very high tech. Fully automized. And we come to the point, why Amsterdam, why Schiphol Airport? Why there? Very expensive ground. It's very close to a city. Vertical, it's very hard to build 10 hectares of greenhouse in the city. It has an idea about it. Because think about the question already. What do we use in a vertical farm the most? We come back to that later. So we partner up. Food security as a service. That's the DNA of the company. David, Dr. David Mezaros, he's speaking tomorrow, the founder of the company. He really has an idea, feed the world. And I know in the horticultural industry, that sounds a little bit hasty maybe, feed the world, but it really is. We want to grow food on the places where you can get it locally for an affordable price and as fresh as possible. We saw during COVID how difficult it is to move around stuff, so it's also very logical. But whether a greenhouse, a plastic house, or a vertical farm, that's up to the technology side. And for that, I'd like to introduce my co-panelists. Ladies first, of course. Sandra, Strategic Business Development Manager at Viscon. Introduce yourself.
Yeah, thank you. So my name is Sandra. I'm working at Viscon Group. At Viscon, we specialize in automating the complete process. So we start with the seed and we end up with the packed products. Within Viscon Group, I'm working with the commercial department to see what markets we want to develop and what kind of products we need to do so. And on the other hand, I'm responsible for the R&D team in which we actually develop the new products or we search for strategic partnership to collaborate on a new product before we introduce it into the market.
Very nice, Sandra. But already questions straight ahead from my side. What's the latest R&D that you are, which are allowed to say, talk about?
We just did it 20 minutes ago.
Oh, okay.
So we revealed like our newest machines. It was a collaboration with one of our biggest competitors. So I'm actually quite proud that we achieved that. So we did it together with ISO Group, which before was always seen as our competitor. So our sales teams had to get a bit used to each other. But actually what we just revealed was an automated way for tissue culture planting.
Right.
So at this moment there's a lot of labor. As you will probably all know, there are a lot of labor issues.
Right.
We see a big growth for tissue culture, but it's actually holding back because it's like this labor-intensive process. And that's why we said by combining the strengths of both of our companies, we can really make a difference here. And that's what we just revealed.
So you're all invited to the Viscon stand. You have 2 stands there. No, fine.
No, yeah, we have one this year.
One. Oh, one.
Before we had 2,
That's
but now we all have it in one place
all right.
in the
Super.
front.
Thank you, Sandra. Now, the man from the south, Pim Molenaars, managing partner at Cultivators. Took him 3.5 hours to get here. Talk about local for local. 1 hour drive normally during the day, 3.5 hours. I don't know what kind of car he has, but I should take the train next time. Pim.
I will definitely take the train next time. I'm managing partner at Cultivators. We are a consulting company, and what we do, we help companies from the first business idea up to daily operations. For example, current greenhouse owners or investors that say, I want to grow lettuce or other leafy greens, we help them to canalize, funnel their business idea. What kind of facility do I need? What kind of people do I need? Up to daily operations. So we make business cases, business plan, but also help on the cultivation part. As the name says of the company, we are really oriented on the cultivation part, but also very focused on profitable, healthy business.
Is it feasible or not?
Yes, that's correct.
The question I got most in my times, like during the 35 years, John, how much does a greenhouse cost? And it sounds like a very logical question, but we always start at the market. Why do you want to build a greenhouse? For what and for whom? So, Pim, later on more about it. Harman, welcome. Program Manager Hortivation. Now, that's a whole. It sounds like a short name, but you can tell much more about it.
I can tell much more. Thanks, Jan. Harman van Dam is my name. Indeed, Innovation Manager at Hortivation, or Program Manager. Hortivation is also a combination of competitors. About 25 companies from the greenhouse technology sector are innovating together. And these are greenhouse builders, suppliers of climate computers, robotics, data platforms. And it's all about data. It's about data-driven building, data-driven growing. So I feel at home here at the greenhouse technology, because if it's about innovating in the greenhouse technology, then Hortivation is the place to be.
No, that's clear. Do you have a stand here also, or are you walking around?
I'm also walking around, but we have a stand with T&O. So it's
which stand do you have?
With T&O,
oh,
together.
Okay, oh super.
That's our strategic partner.
Now that you all know who we are and what we do, we know a little bit about you. Then about the topic we are talking about today. Is smart agriculture, of course it's a horticultural exhibition, but only about technology? You can answer yes or no, but you can also comment on that. But before you do that, smart horticulture, only about technology. Sandra,
It's a good question.
What would you do? What would
I
you
think
say?
it would be easy if it was only about technology, but I think we have to acknowledge that we're working with plants and they are living organisms, and every variety has its own dynamics in there. So it's not only about technology, but I do think that technology can help a big part in really make it a profitable business. So actually what we often see when we talk to customers, they really focus on the growing methodology only, but forget to look at the complete process. And I think technology can really make a big difference there in bringing it to a profitable business. So actually I do think that it can be a big added value, but we should not forget to think what actually is going on within the plants and how we impact them with technology. So I always like, if we have a new innovation, I love to have the plant science team next to the technical people to really make sure that how technology impacts the plant, that it is an added value and that we not do anything.
Does it work? But also, is it affordable to do? Huh?
Yeah, and does it add actually? So working technology, it can bring more uniformity, it can increase your quality, and I think that's the way how we should look at it, not only replacing labor.
Anybody in the audience like to comment to that? Anybody has a comment on this question as well? Somebody likes to say something about it? Not really. Harman, you quickly?
Yeah, I'll be quick. Smart farming will be more, of course, than only technology. But from my perspective as horticulturist, I'm always busy with technology. And also, if you ask Google, probably the first 100 hits are only about data-driven farming. So it's top of mind. That's it about technology. If you look literally, it's also about biology. Maybe also people management, business decisions. That's not technology. It's supported by technology.
No, I agree with both my partners here, and I think it's very important that you make deliberate decisions. If it comes to data, it can help you to make deliberate decisions. But what we see is that also a lot of the new facilities are technology driven, and we say the technology itself is not the goal. The goal is that you have a healthy crop and a healthy business case in that sense. So I think it should go hand in hand. And what we see that it is a lot of future thinking. So okay, the technology in the future, it will be promising, it will be financially feasible, but at this stage you have to think about the business case also for the next year, for the next 2 years, and not for 5 or 10 years, because otherwise you get cash flow issues, what we see at the moment.
Within SMARTKAS we had this decision. This is a decision which is, of course, or a choice we had to make very clearly. Is smart, what is smart in our case? Are we choosing the most advanced and most expensive technology there is? Or are we looking for the most highest produced against the lowest cost price with the resources we have? So that was definitely a choice. Not by saying this is the most high tech, let's do a semi-closed greenhouse, or let's build a vertical farm. It was not a choice. It was a decision what we made by partnering up with various companies who have their own specialists. So we are at SMARTKAS, we are a company of corporations. We need every little detail to come to a final end, but later about that. So keep that in mind when you're starting about it. Partner up with the right people on various topics. When it's about lighting, when it's about irrigation, about a greenhouse, about fertigation. But moreover, to whom do I supply, for example? Is it a supermarket? Is it a wholesaler? What kind of price can I sell it for before you even start on? Because smart is not only about technology. Smart is also what Pim does with his team, thinking about how smart do I have this business case on paper? Yeah, how much does a greenhouse cost is not a favor. It can cost 1,000 if you want to grow strawberries in Dubai. It's a totally different business case than growing strawberries in Holland, for example. Yeah, it can be very exclusive, but you need a very much more high technology. But the prices in summertime are, of course, very high in Dubai. So it could be very affordable to do that in Dubai or any place of the world. So every country, every technology, every crop needs a market. That's what you're doing it for. All right, next question. What comes to your mind when you think of smart horticulture? Who can I give the floor in the audience? Who likes to comment somebody? Robert, maybe you? Can I? Or do you say, let me sit, please? No? Somebody else in the audience likes to comment to this? I'm not going to force you, don't be scared. It's my birthday. It's a happy day for me. So, on the panelists, who would like to, one of you? Sandra, Pim, Harman, who likes to take the floor on this one?
I would like to elaborate. I think it's about, a lot of people think about smart technology in terms of hardware, data, but what you said also, it's about smart decisions, deliberate decisions, based on comparative business analysis, based on scenario business cases. We see that people love technology. They embrace technology and they love to be able to honest to say, I bought the latest technology, but it's the technology that needs to serve a goal. And that's, in my opinion, the smart decision.
You as your company, as Cultivators, going a little bit deeper in your company, what do you do? Where do you start?
Actually, the same as you said, we always start, what do you want to sell? What is for you in your market the sellable product? And then we design the facility around it. So we look first at the business case, so what product is interesting, at what price, and then we look, okay, how can we cultivate that crop? And then we basically build literally the facility around it.
We did exactly the same at SMARTKAS. We design, we build, operate farms. It doesn't have to be. Many people said to us, oh, are you now working for a vertical farm company? We are not a vertical farming company. We are at Fokker Schiphol, at Fokker Park, the former, it's very close to, it's actually on Schiphol Airport. Why was that the case? Not because we could build a greenhouse there. It's a warehousing facility. And for us it was very important, of course. What comes to mind when you think about vertical farming? Electricity. And of course, when shit hits the fan in Russia and Ukraine, the prices were going up. But we made already a business case based years ago on the electricity price of that day, and we fixed it. That park was developed for an enormous amount of energy, which cannot go back to the grid of Amsterdam. So it was actually lost. So we can, as SMARTKAS, as a farming company, we can easily and very cheaply make use of that surplus of energy. Around that, we build another 3,000 to 5,000 solar panels. Now, I think we are a winner today in the last 10 days. It's the business case. Where do you start? Vertical farm is about lighting, about closed system. You have no light, you have no outside. It's too expensive. No, it depends what you want to do. We built a vertical farm on Schiphol Airport because the energy was for us very cheap, for a long period fixed. The investment was high, but we are very close to Amsterdam. So all the picnics, the Aldi's, the Lidl's, they can just hop within 10 minutes. They can get 24/7, 365 days, top quality lettuce. That makes the business count. But before that, we talk to people like Pim. Do you think it's wise what we are doing? Is it affordable what we are doing? We talk to the supermarkets. For what price are you going to buy if we deliver this quality you have right now? And how quickly do you want it? And how many do you want? And then you start building your technology. That's a tip from my side, but also I think that's very logical. Harman, you want to add?
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Is it possible to have a low-tech smart farm?
Yeah, of course. But
in which situation?
Good question. I cannot answer to that straight away.
Yeah, we didn't prepare this, of course.
Yeah, no, I didn't. No, but it's a good one from you. But also that I come back because it's not that I have everything in my mind. We know but the question will come to the table. Can we do it as well? We needed this technology to be completely, almost autonomous with very little people.
Yeah.
And of course make use of the enormous space. We grow up to 11 meters
can imagine when labor is cheap, when the land prices are low, that it might be perfect, very smart to have a low-tech greenhouse.
Yeah, could be. But of course on Schiphol Airport that was a thing. That was the first case. But we do also strawberries on the Stenzel close by in Harlow. Low-tech possible, but we looked at what can we do in Amsterdam with that facility, with that energy. So we could invest a lot in technology. Labor we can get, but it's expensive in Holland. There are countries in the world where there is not labor enough. Horticulture has a big problem now. So we automated also a lot. Because does everybody want to pick lettuce or do we do it automatically? That is a choice. But it's a question which comes to the table on the forehand. How low can we invest to get the lowest cost price in produce? And not by, shall we build a vertical farm of 100 million and then...
Going to a next level of autonomy might be very expensive. So you better stop at a certain level of autonomy. So it might be that a low-tech or a middle-tech greenhouse fits perfect to a certain situation.
On 1,000 square meters, we
just
do
a business case for the next investment decision.
But on 1,000 square meters, we do approximately 100,000 square meters of greenhouse. Yeah. We need, normally in a greenhouse, you need 10 to 15 people to run around. Yeah. We only have 12. Yeah. So, but we done it in automation. So it's always a combination of, but a long business case of a year to study it before you start.
I think also it's not only about the financial business case, but also the sustainability business case. And what you try with high tech, you try to get economies of scale, you try to be economically efficiently, but you also try to be as sustainable as possible. Yeah. And I think if you have a low tech farm, it's not per definition less sustainable, but in most cases it is. So,
more or less to your question, Armin, this is the next one, vertical farm versus greenhouse. Go back to my days, it sounds very old, but when I was 16 I started in the plastic greenhouse industry, then I went to the glass house industry and I said, John, what's better? A plastic greenhouse or a glass greenhouse? So there's no better. Growing roses in Africa or in Mexico, or you can easily do under a plastic greenhouse. Yeah? You don't have to create such a climate. If you're close to the equator, depends on where you are. After my retirement, I'm now also partially involved in vertical farming. Is that the solution? It's a help. Some people say no, vertical farming will never be affordable. But I see it also as a benefit of evolution. Yeah? There are growers already 25 years ago who started with LED lighting. Everybody called them crazy. Or with corporate grass, for example, with the Aquiverse, of course, a revolution. The man is still a great thinker. There's not a good or a bad. How do you see that, Sandra? Vertical farm versus greenhouse. You are in both. You do technology in the greenhouse, but you build vertical farm.
Yeah,
in short, true. What would you say?
Yeah, I think we look at it from, as you said, you first want to understand the business case behind it and actually what it's allowed to cost. And based on that, you can start automating the complete process all the way from the seeds to the packed product. In some cases, vertical farming is actually the best way to do it, but you need a lot of scalability in there. So if you do it small, I think it will never work.
We have more R&D, then it's more R&D.
Then it's R&D, and that's actually what we see a lot, is that vertical farms come from a very technical background, and then they want to scale up to their first commercial one, but they still want to keep that a bit small. And that's where it often goes wrong, because then you see, to have that automation that you need for that farm, you need to have a lot more scalability in there. And actually, I think you were totally on point with what you said in the beginning. You really need to understand what your cost price can be, and there you can help it out. And that's why I sometimes have the feeling that vertical farms, but I think also other growing methodologies, maybe they have to connect other partners in a bit earlier stage to really figure that out, what is the best way to scale up and work together with all kind of suppliers. So it's not only us from a technology point of view.
Still about cooperating, you have to add a whole team together to come to a conclusion.
Yeah, you really have to understand the business that you
Anybody in the audience like to comment to that? Any questions about this so far? No questions? Everything clear? Oh, fantastic. Harman, as motivation, of course, and Pim also, small...
What motivation typically might come up with is, for example, with a global heat map to present where are the opportunities to have a vertical farm. But that's only on a high level, because it's also about the strategic choices of the individual investor, of course, whether you really think, hey, a vertical farm will do here. But as motivation, I think there's many open data available to give a first impression of in which places on Earth a vertical farm would be a good option, probably. Yeah. And then you have to have a detailed analysis.
Right. Pim, asking you vertical farm versus greenhouse. You as Cultivators do about business case, but in your group you also have growers, agronomists who advise and help with growing. Vertical farm, greenhouse, huge difference or exactly the same?
They would definitely not say it's exactly the same. And the thing is that people say vertical farming, you can control everything. And that gives the mindset that it is easy to operate a vertical farm. But it also means that you have to control everything. You have to control the climate, where the greenhouse is a more natural setting. So what we see is that the greenhouse is, it's still a challenge to operate a greenhouse to the optimum. But for vertical farming, it is exactly the same. It's still a challenge.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, of course, smart resource, labor, market management. We have talked a little bit about labor, of course, but smart is also about resource management. I told you how we did it at SMARTKAS here in Amsterdam, and all the farms we do. We have farms in Brazil, England, Amsterdam, Budapest. We are now working on very closely. AI, robotics we are working on for ourselves to add on, but we make use of the technology which is completely here on the green tech. We talk to companies, but we combine them. And whereas the combination of what we not, it's not exactly that, it's not exactly this, we try to have our own team within SMARTKAS, not only about agronomists, but also financial people, software people, to create our own software, to add the things we would like to have. Yeah, where other companies cannot help us or partner with us. But the most important was, look at smart resource. That's a tip I want to give you. I built greenhouses all over the world, but everybody's saying you need, if you don't have a gas or electricity or a smart, what's smart about resource is not only about the availability of resource and the price of it, but also the scarcity. Now when we come to countries, water is enough. You can use as much water for free. That doesn't mean that we have to spoil it. You have to go smart with the energy sources we have. Same with labor. You might have a very big idea about growing a very big greenhouse or building a very big greenhouse, but you need about 15 to 20 people per hectare if you are in the fruit industry, I would say. I don't know about in the flowers, maybe about the same, Robert, you could say that, 10, 15 per hectare. You need to have that. You can have a piece of land 600 miles away from the city, but how do you bring the people there? That's of course about it. And then it comes to green or red numbers. So how do you define? I always say green or red because in the end you need to make money. You come already, I think in your work, you can already very easily say, go ahead with the project or not.
Yeah, what we do is we make a stage gate model. And in most cases, we make an analysis of a few business cases, so we compare them.
On the market also already? Do you market
on existing? We can do market study, but also on existing facilities. We check, okay, if you want to make changes in your facility, what's your impact on your capex? What's the impact on your opex? You can very easily see if it will lead to green or red numbers in this case.
Yeah, super.
Very short. The last sheet was about autonomous or hands-on.
Yeah.
And as motivation, together with AgTech and Innovation Quarter, we developed a framework to help growers decide what is my next best investment decision. Should it be an investment in an autonomous transport, or should it be an investment in a harvesting robot? Make a business case for each step and see what is the best business case and take that step. So we hope then in that way to also help to decide about what's my best next decision. Are these green numbers?
Yeah. Sandra, last comment.
Yeah, I think we're looking at a bit the same. So actually every innovation that we do, we like to understand the market first and actually what it brings to our customers. So what is the return on investment? Is it worth the investment? From a technology point of view, I think there are so many things happening at this moment that sometimes we just have to take the risk. We believe in it, but we do not know the final solution yet, but we feel there is something there. So a bit red in the beginning. I'm afraid it will always be there, but it will also be the only one to get to something new, and I think to the point where we are today and will be in 10 years.
Thank you very much, guys and lady, for this. At SMARTKAS, we design, as I said, design, build and operate. We are always looking for partners. And partners also, if there are people who want to start up projects, we start up our own projects, but we also participate in existing projects to operate farms. We have this experience. We like to share. So if you have any kind of questions, I always say there are no stupid questions, only stupid answers. We try to solve them as much as possible. But if you want to get in touch with us, how we did it and how we maybe can cooperate together, go to smartkas.com or see me on those 3 days on the next week. We have no stand, but you're more than happy to answer your questions and to visit one of my colleagues, of course, and then we will all come together. But big message, join up. If you start a project, try to mark with the people you feel happy about. It's not about the technology, but also that you have a good communication with each other. Ask the questions you want to ask and get the right answers and exactly the right numbers with the right technology. Tomorrow on the Vision stage, our founder, Dr. David Mazaros, is giving also a presentation on the Vision stage on 12 o'clock. I thank you very much being on my birthday party today. I'm going to enjoy myself. Thank you very much. I'd like to call my colleagues from the technique. And have a great time in Amsterdam. It's lovely weather, but stay inside for a while. Thank you. Bye-bye.